Welcome back. Our next guest's impact reaches well beyond the canvas, making a lasting mark on the world of art and design. Taking a courageous leap, he founded Mijoshski not just as a showcase for his art, but as a platform supporting fellow creatives in realizing their dreams. Joining us to tell us more is Joshua Evans. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about your artwork and what elements or aspects make your artwork stand out from others.
So, I primarily work as a painter, oil
Okay.
paint to be exact. My paintings are specifically about the African American experience,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to portray that in a surrealistic way, in my unique way.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to talk about many of our battles that go unheard, such as our social issues and mental health.
Mm-hmm. And so, tell me a little bit about the way you express your unique artistic voice and what do you hope people take away from your art?
So for me, I've always seen art as a mirror. I
Mm-hmm.
love when people can look at my work and take aspects of it from their own history. Um, I work in the figure a lot so people can see themselves in the figures that I create,
Mm-hmm.
but I also make the face and features ambiguous and abstract.
Okay.
And so for me, that's a great way to make my work a mirror for the audience.
Mm-hmm. And so, art kind of became a tool for you to connect with others. So, how does your artwork facilitate this connection and, what role does it play in the emotional process?
So my work, I think art is something that doesn't need language. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that for thousands of years has connected people from all cultures and all walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to place myself and my work in that same narrative.
Mm-hmm. And so, before you go into creating a piece, right, do you have kind of this pre process, the ritual, whatever, that kind of thing? Do you have one of those? And if so, can you share?
Yeah, of course. I do. When I walk into the studio,
Mm-hmm.
you will smell a strong coffee on each
Oh,
scent.
okay.
I have to have it in the
Mm-hmm.
morning. And the coffee and the music are the two things. So the music isn't what makes my mood. My mood
Mm-hmm.
is what makes the music. So whatever I'm feeling
Okay.
is the playlist for the day.
So, anytime we walk in, it's not going to be the same playlist,
It
right? We're
will,
going to hear something different.
oh, yes, yes.
That's awesome. So, just share a little bit more about your mission or your mantra as an artist.
My mission as an artist and my mantra has always been to inspire people that come after me and even people that have come before me. I've come from a place called Mobile, Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
where art is not as big as it is in other places. So many people, especially the youth,
Mm-hmm.
don't know that you can make a career in these creative fields.
Yeah.
So I really, truly want to trailblaze in a way for my own, the people that come from my hometown and other people like me to show you
Mm-hmm.
can make something in a creative field.
Yeah, and I like that you mentioned where you came from specifically. Art isn't something that's really not necessarily talked about, but something that's not emphasized and highlighted, right? And so we're
Hmm.
here in New York City, which is one of the creative capitals. So can you tell me what was kind of maybe that transition like to go from Alabama to New York City? And it's like, oh, I can showcase my art here, and what was that like?
Oh my goodness. They're a complete 180 from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I was fortunate enough to move around a bit before coming to New York, so
Mm-hmm.
I got kind of a prerequisite before the
Mm-hmm.
city. But there's absolutely nothing like New York and the art here. Everyone is so open and receptive to artwork here.
Mm-hmm. And so, can you tell me a little bit maybe about how you found a specific community within, the New York City art space or
So right now I'm studying for my MFA at the School of Visual Arts.
mm-hmm.
That was a very big stepping point for me to find a community and
Mm-hmm.
with my classmates and everything like that. And so they were the foundation for how I started to make a community here in New York.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of community, you're kind of taking that on your own with your brand, Mijoshki. So can you tell us a little bit more about that? What does that entail?
Yes. So Mijoshki is a brand I started. It's an art and design brand that's named after my father. I wanted to find ways to branch my work out into other avenues,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time wanted to again be able to give back to others. So
Mm-hmm.
myself, like many other artists, know how difficult it can be to make a name for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
make money off of your work. So with Mijoshki, I have been able to hire people such as designers and other artists for things, photographers for
Mhm.
our brand shoots and things like that. So it's definitely been a way for me to help and give
Mhm.
some help to the next person.
Yeah, and when it comes to Mijoshski, there's different, uh, sorry, there's different avenues, right? There's skateboards, there's fashion, there's
Mhm.
all types of stuff. So can you tell me how do you integrate your vision into these works?
So I love to tell people everything that I do with Mijoshski, as far as from the apparel to the home decor and collectibles, it all
Mm-hmm.
starts in my studio. I like to take elements from each of my paintings and
Mm-hmm.
incorporate them into the designs. So a lot of times you can see a piece from the brand
Mm-hmm.
and you can connect it back to one of the paintings that I've done in the past.
Oh, that's actually really fun. I like that. It's kind of almost like an Easter egg in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
But speaking of, right, you talked about apparel, and New York Fashion Week is this week actually. So
Mhm.
can we expect either at Fashion Week this week or just coming up, in the near future? Is there anything we can expect when it comes to releases and all of that?
The fall, next fall.
Okay.
Yes, yes. This one, I'm excited just to get my feet wet and continue meeting new people, because this is only my 5th month in New York. But this coming fall, I look to put a stamp on it.
Well, congratulations. I mean,
Thank you.
5 months in New York and you're kind of already working a lot with your brand in the creative space. I think that's really a great thing.
Thank you.
But also, unfortunately, we do know that as any other artist, you do face challenges. So can you share what are some challenges you may face?
Of course. The challenges I face as an artist have ranged widely. I've experienced all types of things, from just trying to make a name for yourself, be
Mm-hmm.
heard in such a large sea of artists, and also get paid for your
Yeah.
work. Um, but those challenges are very widespread, and like I would tell anybody, just continue focusing on your work and what
Mm-hmm.
you do, and be smart about your business, and you can overcome them.
And so let's talk a little bit. We've talked a lot about, your projects and where you are now, but I don't think we necessarily kind of backtrack. So, how did you kind of land into the world of art? How did you become an artist?
Hmm. So I had always been drawing since a young age. It was
Mm-hmm.
actually something I did almost instinctively
Yeah.
as I watched different cartoons, different little anime and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I would watch them or see them, I would want to draw them. And as time progressed, I just kind of got better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And around my undergrad years, I many things were happening, and I kind of went back to art
Mm-hmm.
as a solution to understand things that were happening, and I realized I could make a career out of
Mm-hmm.
my work.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. It's unfortunate because a lot of people they're kind of brought up in different art mediums, and then
Hmm.
it's like once you turn 18, people a lot of times are like, okay, well now you got to choose a real job. So
Hmm.
I think being able to make money off your work, make a living off your work, and to do this just like any other job, I think is a really great thing. But looking towards the future, what are some goals that you have for yourself as an artist, for your brand, the whole thing?
As an artist, I will have my work in some of the major collections, such as the Brooklyn Museum, the Bronx Museum.
Hmm.
I look to have it in major exhibitions, Gagosian. Um, Also, for my brand, I want to partner and collaborate with some well-known brands as well.
Hmm.
And I look to spread out and branch out as much as I can to help other artists.
Well, Joshua, I think that was a great place to leave it. We are going to be on the lookout for this fall to see what you have coming. So thanks again for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.
For more information, you can visit their website at joshuaevansstudio.com and mijoshaki.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more open right after this.